Okay.
Can you flip the screen? Just for 1 second, be normal. What's up, guys? So today we're going to be doing an install that I've been looking forward to for a really long time. I'm going to get rid of the lawnmower sound of this car, and instead we're going to put in a really nice ARK Design twin exhaust. Yeah, this exhaust was sent to us by ARK Design, so huge shout out to them. They are my first sponsor. Now, before I get into this video, I want to say that if you're here just to hear the sound of this exhaust, then skip to this time in the video, and you'll be able to hear the comparison from the stock to the rest of the exhaust. But if you want to stay and watch the install and stuff like that, I really recommend it. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Now, before I get into the install, I want to talk about what sponsorships are going to be like on this channel. I'm going to be completely and brutally honest when I get sponsored. If I get sponsored by a company and they send me a part and I think it's complete trash, I'm going to tell you guys that it's complete trash. I'm not going to sit here and like puff up the products that I get from sponsorships because I don't think that that's really fair. When I get sent a part, I'm going to tell you guys how it is. Now, that being said, I have taken a good look at this exhaust, and all of the welding and everything does look really quality. So I'll tell you guys how the fitment and stuff is once we install it, but overall I am very happy with this exhaust. So let's start the install. You want to say anything?
No.
So the first step before you really get into the install is something that it's just a pro tip that I recommend. We raised this car yesterday and then we sprayed all of the bolts with PB blasters so that today they'll just come off really easy. If you have like an older car or maybe something that you drive in the snow and so it corrodes with the salt, spraying all the bolts with PB blaster is going to really make the install easier. So raise the car a day before, spray all the bolts with PB blaster, and then you can go into it. First step of this install is going to be to take two 14mm sockets, or a 14mm wrench and a 14mm socket, and you're going to undo the connectors that go to the muffler so that we can then remove them from the hangers and remove the muffler completely. Let's get to it. So I apologize for this angle, but this will give you guys a good idea. This is the connector that goes to the muffler right here. So we're going to be undoing these bolts so that we can then undo the hanger that's right there. You can see it a little bit. This hanger that connects the muffler to the car. So after we undo these bolts and undo this... Mitchell, why do you have to be loud when I'm filming? Got the muffler out, and I didn't really go over how to take off the hangers, but luckily we removed one of the hangers on the muffler so I can show you. It's as simple as pulling the rubber out from the hanger. So we used a bunch of WD-40 to spray these down, and you, from underneath the car, you pull and you pull and you pull, and eventually it comes out. It's just brute force. There's no simple technique to it other than using WD-40 to loosen it. But after you do all this, leave these hangers underneath the car so that you can reuse these when you install the new exhaust. Alright, all of the old catback exhaust is out. Now we need to install the new one. In order to take out this final pipe, you need to use a 12 and a 14mm socket to undo the ends over here. So yeah, now we can install the new one. So before we install the new exhaust, I do want to test it to make sure that it works fully and properly. So yeah, passes the test. So this is the first part that we're going to be installing from the new exhaust system. We're going to be reusing the same bolts that go into here that were from the stock one. So again, you're going to need a 12 and a 14mm socket. It should be pretty simple. It should be pretty straightforward. You're going to be putting this part into the old hanger. That's why I said to leave them in, because you're going to be reusing them. We're here. Now the pipe that we just installed sometimes has a Y pipe at the end of it, but this one, the actual like muffler part, has a Y pipe in it. So we're going to be installing this one first because this one is the one that actually connects to the pipe that we just installed, and then from there we're going to have the Y pipe accessible to then connect the final piece of this exhaust system. So this is just going to be as simple as two 14mm bolts. We're not reusing the one that came stock on the car. Instead, we're using ones that came with the kit. So the final piece of the puzzle after installing the mufflers is finally to install these massive tips. And when I first got this, I didn't, like, I could put my fist in them like they were huge, but seeing them on the car, they're massive. The reason that I like this exhaust over the NVIDIA N1, which is the one that I was considering before this, is because the NVIDIA N1 exhaust, the tips are very thin and they kind of stick out sideways, while this is thick and like nice quality, and I like that it looks very professional. You know what I'm saying? Like the NVIDIA N1, in my opinion, it kind of looks slightly cheap with how thin it is and how it sticks out the direction that it kind of looks like it was not exactly built for the car. This sticks out properly straight and is thick and just a very nice metal material. So I do really like the look of this exhaust, but now is the real test. Let's start her up and see how she sounds. So I'm gonna show you guys what the car sounded like when it was completely stock right here. And now I'm going to show you guys what it sounds like with this new ARK Design twin spec racing exhaust. Oh my god, it's so much better. Not trying to say this because I'm sponsored by ARK Design. This sounds so much better than the stock lawnmower. It's so deep. Okay, let's get some revs. That sounds better than I ever could. It sounds so much deeper and like so much more powerful than the stock exhaust. And this has no headers, no front pipe, no overpipe, nothing. This is just a catback exhaust. Oh, this sounds so good. Okay, we're gonna do some rolling shots. I'm gonna set up the GoPro right behind the car, and we'll show you guys what it sounds like when we're first like gunning it and stuff. I'm so happy. So that's going to do it for this install, which was definitely the easiest install we've ever done. Definitely. It was just as simple as unbolting some stuff and bolting in the new oh my god. Come towards me, you bitch. It was just as easy as unbolting the old stuff and bolting in the new stuff, and now the car sounds so much better. Once again, a huge shout out to our first sponsors, ARK Design, for hooking us up with this exhaust. Remember that the next video that you guys are going to see is my first track day. I'm super pumped for that. Mitchell's going to be there. I'm going to vlog the entire thing. So until then, make sure you guys subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. I'll see you guys next time. Yeah.